What if I told you that in 2025, just 10 individuals control more wealth than the GDP of entire nations? From Elon Musk's rockets to Bernard Arnault's luxury empire, from Bezos's space dreams to Gates's global philanthropy, these billionaires are rewriting the rules of power. Stay until the end, because the 8-1 richest person doesn't just hold fortune, but a secret influence that will change how you see the world. Elon Musk, the visionary disruptor. Elon Musk is more than a billionaire, he is a disruptor who has rewritten entire industries. His journey began with Zip2 and later PayPal, a company that transformed online payments and was sold for $1.5 billion. But Musk was never interested in stopping at financial success. Instead, he used that fortune as fuel to chase visions that many dismissed as impossible. With Tesla, he didn't just build cars, he triggered a global revolution. Today, Tesla is valued at over $800 billion, producing electric vehicles that outsell competitors in markets once dominated by giants like BMW and Mercedes-Benz. Musk's insistence on pairing performance with sustainability turned Tesla into both a luxury status symbol and a catalyst for renewable energy adoption. Owning a Tesla isn't just about driving, it's about participating in the future. Then came SpaceX, a company once mocked for daring to compete with NASA. Now it holds contracts worth billions, including missions to supply the International Space Station and ambitions to send humans to Mars. Each launch of the Falcon 9 is not just a technical feat, it is a declaration that private companies can lead humanity's journey beyond Earth. Musk's vision extends further with Neuralink, exploring brain-computer interfaces, and The Boring Company, rethinking transportation beneath cities. He doesn't merely chase trends, he creates them, reshaping how industries, investors, and governments define innovation. His personal assets mirror this duality of luxury and ambition. Musk has owned properties worth tens of millions, including California mansions and estates, though he famously sold most of them to focus on his mission. Even without the trappings of palaces or yachts, his wealth is displayed in rockets, factories, and the global influence of his brands. Comment Mars vision if you think Elon Musk's pursuit of interplanetary life makes him the boldest disruptor on the planet. Bernard Arnault, the emperor of luxury. Bernard Arnault is not simply a businessman, he is the architect of the world's largest luxury empire. As chairman and CEO of LVMH, Arnault oversees a constellation of over 70 brands, from Louis Vuitton and Dior to Moet and Chandon, Tiffany & Co. and Givenchy. Each brand carries history, exclusivity and prestige, but under Arnault's leadership, they became a unified empire, valued at more than $500 billion. His strategy has always been about more than fashion. By acquiring brands rooted in heritage and then reinventing them with modern marketing, Arnault positioned LVMH as the unrivaled authority of global luxury. A Louis Vuitton handbag worth $5,000, a Dior couture gown commanding six figures, or a Tiffany diamond necklace valued at millions, these are not just products, but symbols of aspiration and identity. Arnault's empire extends far beyond retail counters. He has invested heavily in real estate, owning landmark properties such as a historic mansion in Paris and luxury hotels under the Cheval Blanc brand. His portfolio even stretches to private islands and lavish estates worth hundreds of millions of dollars, reinforcing his personal lifestyle as a mirror of the empire he built. Yachts and art collections also play a role in his world of curated extravagance. Reports estimate his art holdings, featuring works by Picasso and Monet, to be worth over $1 billion. His yachts, equipped with helipads and suites designed by the same artisans who craft Fendi Casa furniture, are floating showcases of LVMH's ethos, exclusivity, refinement, and status. What sets Arnault apart is his ability to merge culture with commerce. He doesn't just sell champagne or handbags, he sells an experience of timeless elegance, a carefully engineered world where wealth translates directly into identity. In 2025, this mastery secures his place as one of the most powerful figures in the history of luxury. Jeff Bezos, the Amazon empire. Jeff Bezos started with a single idea, selling books online. From a modest garage in Seattle, he built what would become Amazon, now valued at over $1.5 trillion. What began as a niche e-commerce site evolved into a global marketplace that delivers everything from Apple iPhones and Nike sneakers to groceries, streaming content, and cloud computing services. At the heart of Amazon's dominance is AWS, Amazon Web Services, a division worth hundreds of billions on its own. AWS doesn't just power Amazon, it provides the backbone of the internet, hosting platforms for Netflix, Airbnb, and countless Fortune 500 companies. Each click, each stream, each digital transaction often runs through AWS, giving Bezos influence far beyond retail shelves. His ambitions extended into space with Blue Origin, a company founded to make space travel more accessible and sustainable. While Musk's SpaceX often takes the spotlight, Blue Origin has secured contracts worth billions, developing rockets like the New Shepard and New Glenn to compete in the new space economy. Bezos's vision isn't just about exploration, it's about commerce beyond Earth, transporting industries and infrastructure into orbit. Bezos's lifestyle mirrors his empire. He owns real estate worth hundreds of millions, including a $165 million Beverly Hills estate, a New York City penthouse valued at $80 million, and massive properties in Washington. His superyacht, reportedly costing over $500 million, comes with a support vessel carrying its own helicopter. This is not indulgence for display, but a floating statement of scale, engineering, and exclusivity. From garage startup to one of the most powerful conglomerates in history, Bezos represents how relentless ambition can redefine consumer behavior, reshape technology, and open entirely new frontiers. His empire reaches from cloud servers that power our daily lives to rockets preparing to leave Earth, ensuring his influence remains inescapable. Bill Gates, tech pioneer to global philanthropist. Bill Gates is often remembered as the boy who left Harvard to chase a dream. That dream became Microsoft, a company that would reshape the digital age. Alongside Paul Allen, Gates created software that turned the personal computer from a niche machine into a household necessity. The release of Windows 95 was more than a product launch. It was a cultural moment, propelling Microsoft into a valuation of hundreds of billions and making Gates the richest man in the world for years. At the peak of his success, Gates's fortune surpassed $100 billion, yet his influence extended beyond business. Microsoft's ecosystem, Windows, Office, and enterprise tools, became the backbone of global work, education, and communication. Even today, corporations from Goldman Sachs to Procter & Gamble run daily operations on the foundation his company built. But Gates's story did not end with software. Through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, he redirected tens of billions of dollars towards solving humanity's greatest challenges. From eradicating diseases to improving education systems, his foundation has donated more than $50 billion globally. Investments in vaccines, renewable energy, and sustainable farming illustrate how Gates applied the same methodical mindset that built Microsoft to tackling global crises. His assets also reflect his unique identity, a blend of practicality and quiet luxury. Gates owns Xanadu 2, a futuristic $130 million mansion overlooking Lake Washington, filled with high-tech features and rare art collections. His private jet, a Gulfstream G650ER worth $70 million, allows him to traverse the globe for both philanthropy and business. Now, while not as flashy as yachts or couture brands, these assets symbolize efficiency paired with influence. Bill Gates's journey, from coding in a dorm room to reshaping philanthropy at a planetary scale, reveals how wealth can evolve from personal ambition into global stewardship. Comment global vision if you believe Gates's transformation from tech pioneer to humanitarian is one of the most powerful stories of modern wealth. Larry Ellison, Oracle's architect and collector of mansions. Larry Ellison built his fortune by seeing what others overlooked. In the 1970s, he recognized that relational databases could become the backbone of business operations. From that insight, he co-founded Oracle, a company that grew into one of the world's largest software giants, now worth more than $300 billion. Oracle's systems manage everything from financial institutions and airlines to Fortune 500 corporations, embedding Ellison's vision into the very infrastructure of modern commerce. Ellison's business style was as bold as his technology. He competed fiercely with rivals like IBM and Microsoft, often betting billions on aggressive acquisitions. This strategy transformed Oracle from a niche software provider into a global powerhouse, proving that vision, coupled with risk, could redefine an entire sector. But Ellison is not just known for Oracle, he is equally famous for his lifestyle. His Malibu estate, valued at more than $180 million, is modeled after a Japanese imperial palace, complete with koi ponds and elaborate gardens. His real estate portfolio extends across the globe, from California to Rhode Island, but its crown jewel is the Hawaiian island of Lanai, which he purchased for an estimated $300 million. On Lanai, Ellison has invested heavily in luxury resorts like the Four Seasons, sustainable agriculture and renewable energy, turning the island into both a personal paradise and a living laboratory for his ideas. Luxury also defines his passion for sailing. Ellison's yachts, including the Musashi, valued at over $100 million, are outfitted with interiors that blend technology and design at the highest level. His involvement in the America's Cup further cemented his reputation as a competitor who takes risks not just in business but also in sport. Larry Ellison embodies the convergence of technological ambition and personal extravagance. His story reveals how wealth born from enterprise software can manifest in mansions, islands, and yachts, symbols of a life lived at the intersection of innovation and indulgence. Steve Ballmer, from Microsoft to NBA giant. Steve Ballmer's career is a study in energy, ambition, and relentless drive. Joining Microsoft in 1980 as its first business manager, Ballmer quickly became one of Bill Gates's closest allies. His fiery style and sharp instincts helped shape Microsoft's corporate culture during its most competitive decades. By the time he became CEO in 2000, the company was already a global titan, but Ballmer was tasked with steering it through an era of intense transformation. Under his leadership, Microsoft launched Windows XP, Windows 7, and the Microsoft Surface, each product leaving a mark on the technology landscape. Windows 7 in particular became one of the most successful operating systems in history, adopted by hundreds of millions worldwide. Ballmer also pushed the company deeper into enterprise services and gaming, overseeing growth in the Xbox division that would eventually become a cornerstone of Microsoft's consumer business. Though critics often highlighted the company's missed opportunities in mobile, Ballmer's tenure left Microsoft stronger than many realize. When he stepped down in 2014, Microsoft's annual revenue had grown to over $77 billion, securing its dominance across multiple industries. His personal fortune soared with it, turning him into one of the wealthiest men on the planet. After leaving Microsoft, Ballmer's passion turned towards sports. In 2014, he purchased the Los Angeles Clippers NBA team for $2 billion, at the time the highest price ever paid for a sports franchise. The deal stunned analysts, but Ballmer's investment has since appreciated significantly as team valuations skyrocketed. His courtside enthusiasm, cheering loudly, often with the same intensity he brought to Microsoft meetings, made him one of the most recognizable owners in professional sports. Ballmer's story bridges two worlds, technology and athletics. From driving Microsoft's global expansion to redefining what it means to own an NBA franchise, he demonstrates how the wealth born in Silicon Valley can seamlessly flow into the arenas of modern entertainment. Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha. Warren Buffett is often described as the most disciplined investor in history. Known as the Oracle of Omaha, he transformed patience and value investing into a fortune worth more than $100 billion. Unlike the fast-moving wealth of tech titans, Buffett built his empire slowly, carefully, and methodically, one company at a time. Through Berkshire Hathaway, a textile firm he acquired in the 1960s, Buffett created a conglomerate that now owns or holds major stakes in brands like Coca-Cola, American Express, Apple, and Bank of America. His philosophy is simple but powerful. Buy businesses with strong fundamentals, hold them for the long term, and let compounding do the rest. That discipline turned Berkshire into a company valued at over $700 billion, making it one of the most influential investment firms in the world. Yet Buffett's lifestyle contrasts sharply with his immense fortune. While other billionaires boast $200 million yachts or private islands, Buffett still lives in the modest Omaha home he purchased in 1958 for just $31,500. He is famously frugal, known to drive himself to work and enjoy simple meals from McDonald's and Coca-Cola, two brands he also invests in heavily. His humility has made him one of the most admired figures in finance. Buffett's influence extends beyond investing. Along with Bill Gates, he co-founded the Giving Pledge, a commitment signed by hundreds of the world's billionaires to donate the majority of their wealth to charitable causes. His own philanthropic promises are expected to direct tens of billions into education, healthcare, and poverty reduction, shaping global society far beyond the stock market. Warren Buffett proves that true wealth is not about how loudly you spend, but how wisely you invest, and how much of it you give back. Comment value power if you think Buffett's discipline and humility make him the most remarkable billionaire of all time. Larry Page, Google's visionary. Larry Page is the kind of billionaire who prefers algorithms over headlines. Alongside Sergey Brin, he co-founded Google in 1998, introducing the revolutionary PageRank algorithm that transformed how the world organizes information. What began as a Stanford project quickly grew into a company valued at more than $1.5 trillion, reshaping the way billions search, learn, and connect. Page's vision stretched far beyond search engines. As Google evolved into Alphabet Inc., he positioned the company as a powerhouse spanning artificial intelligence, autonomous vehicles, cloud computing, and even healthcare. His backing of Waymo, Alphabet's self-driving car subsidiary, represents billions of dollars invested in the future of transportation. Simultaneously, through Verily and Calico, Alphabet has poured immense resources into life sciences, aiming to extend human longevity and reimagine global healthcare. Though not as publicly visible as some of his peers, Page's wealth and assets mirror his ambitions. Reports highlight a portfolio of luxury properties, including estates in California and a private island in the Caribbean valued at over $30 million. His collection of private jets, including a customized Boeing 767 worth $45 million, is frequently used not just for leisure, but for hosting teams of researchers and engineers, blurring the line between business and lifestyle. What sets Page apart is his commitment to moonshot thinking. He has funded projects in renewable energy, flying vehicles, and AI-driven tools that integrate into everyday life. These ventures echo his belief that wealth should not just create comfort, but accelerate innovation on a planetary scale. Larry Page represents the quiet face of modern power, a billionaire who rarely steps into the spotlight, yet directs investments that shape industries worth trillions. His fortune isn't only measured in dollars, it's measured in the ways his ideas continue to define the digital age. Sergey Brin, the other architect of Google. Sergey Brin is often seen as the quieter counterpart to Larry Page, but his influence on Google and the modern internet is impossible to overstate. Together, they transformed a Stanford research project into a global company worth over $1.5 trillion, with Brin serving as the driving force behind innovation and culture. While Page was focused on algorithms and vision, Brin often led experimental projects that would define Google's bold reputation. He championed Google Glass, one of the earliest attempts at wearable computing, and supported the development of Waymo, the autonomous vehicle company valued in the tens of billions. His willingness to fund riskier ventures helped ensure Google was never just a search engine, but a diversified technology empire. Brin's investments extend into aerospace and healthcare. Through Alphabet's Project Loon and Calico, he backed initiatives aiming to expand global connectivity and tackle human longevity. These are not side hobbies, they are billion-dollar bets on the future of society. Like many billionaires of his generation, Brin's lifestyle reflects both ambition and luxury. He owns properties in California worth more than $100 million, alongside yachts and private aircraft, including a customized Boeing 767 valued at $45 million. He is also a notable philanthropist, directing billions toward research on Parkinson's disease, an issue close to his family. Sergey Brin may not dominate headlines like other billionaires, but his influence is embedded in technology we use daily and in industries poised to define tomorrow. He remains both a scientist and a strategist, shaping innovation while building a legacy that extends well beyond search. Mark Zuckerberg, social media mogul. Mark Zuckerberg was only 19 when he launched Facebook from his Harvard dorm room. What started as a simple network for college students grew into Meta Platforms, a company now valued at over $800 billion, reshaping how billions of people connect, communicate, and consume information every day. Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp are not just apps, they are global ecosystems. Together, they capture the attention of nearly half the planet, turning Zuckerberg into one of the youngest centibillionaires in history. His pivot toward the metaverse, investing tens of billions into virtual reality through Oculus and immersive technologies, shows a willingness to reinvent the future of digital interaction, even at massive financial risk. Zuckerberg's personal fortune reflects both ambition and scale. His real estate holdings include a sprawling Hawaii estate worth over $170 million, alongside properties in California and Palo Alto. Reports also highlight his purchase of surrounding lands to ensure privacy, echoing the exclusivity once reserved for royalty. He is known to travel on a Gulfstream G650ER jet worth $70 million, symbolizing the blend of efficiency and luxury. Philanthropy plays a central role in his legacy. Through the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, he and his wife Priscilla Chan have pledged billions toward education reform, medical research, and global health. This duality, tech visionary and philanthropist, cements Zuckerberg as both one of the most influential and most debated figures of his generation. Comment Meta Future if you believe Zuckerberg's empire will define the next era of social connection and technology. From Tesla and SpaceX to LVMH and Amazon, from Microsoft to Google and Meta, these 10 titans are not just business leaders, they are architects of industries, economies, and even culture. Their wealth builds $200 million yachts, buys private islands, and funds global philanthropy that shapes lives far beyond their boardrooms. Together, they reveal how innovation, luxury, and vision define modern power. If this journey into the world's richest opened your eyes, make sure to hit like, subscribe to Billionaire Story, and join us for more secrets behind the empires of today's most powerful figures.